Hello wonderful people, it's me again. Now this video is pretty long already, so don't worry, I won't hold you up any longer with this introduction. But in this video I am going to show you how to make your very own Chocolate Niffler Nest egg. It's a really fun, yummy recipe to do. I can make it, anybody can make it. It took me roughly 2 hours to make, not including the chill time. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So wonderful people, for the following recipe you are going to be needing some milk chocolate, some marshmallows, shredded wheat, Rice Krispies, white chocolate, some Fox's Glacier mints and Fox's Glacier fruits, some ready-made icing eyes, a pastry brush, a chocolate Easter egg mold, some tin foil, if you have one, a toffee hammer, some black royal icing, butter, vanilla extract and icing sugar, and finally some cake decorations of your choice. I'm using sprinkles and gold leaf. So to start with people, the first thing you are going to do is take your shreddies and literally do what it says on the box and shred them. Crush them, smash them, whatever you have to do to make them shredded. Now take your milk chocolate and melt it. Once you've done that, take your shreddies and your melted chocolate and mix them together until they resemble nothing more than a shredded chocolate mass. Now in your first Easter egg mold, take your shredded chocolate mix, pour it in and push it to the edge of the egg. I recommend making this about ½ an inch thick. Now in your second egg mold, take a piece of tin foil and roll it into a ball. Then push this into the center of the egg. This is going to be the opening to the nest. Don't compact this too tight, otherwise you won't be able to get it out later. Now, like the first egg, add your shredded chocolate and compact it down to the sides. Once you've done this, take your Fox's Glacier mints and your Fox's Glacier fruits. I recommend actually smashing them up while they're still wrapped up, because otherwise the little shards just fly everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. I'm using a toffee hammer to smash mine up, but you can just stick yours in a blender. I love how these look afterwards. The mints look like little diamonds and the fruits look like gems. Once you've done this, get your white chocolate and melt it. Making sure that it's set, get your first Easter egg mold out of the fridge. And working very quickly here, get a pastry brush and begin to literally baste the white chocolate onto the egg. While the white chocolate is still melted, start sticking your gems to the side. How you do this is your own personal preference, and I also got a little bit carried away and added some gold sprinkles. Now to help give this a really authentic look, I recommend getting some gold leaf. Gold leaf sticks to everything, which is why it comes in this tissue paper packet. So when handling this, make sure you don't use your hands because it will just stick to you. I'm using a weird sweet corn skewer thing and a chopstick. Once you're happy with it, make sure you put it back in the fridge because it's got a set. Then get your second half out and literally do exactly the same thing. While that's setting, get a bowl of white chocolate and melt that. Then get your marshmallows and melt them too. I love how marshmallows double in size. Once you've done this, combine your Rice Krispies with your marshmallows and your white chocolate and mix. When this is all mixed nicely together, take out this mix and begin to mold it into a sort of pear shape. This is going to be your Niffler's head and shoulders. Then take a smaller bit and begin to make his bill. Now if, like me, you find it difficult to get your bill to stick back to your Niffler's head, that's okay, just get a little bit of white chocolate, dab it onto the beak and stick it onto his head and put him in the fridge. Now this pink thing here is my royal icing board. Don't worry about it, you don't need it, I just like it because it's pink. Now for this next part, you're going to need to make some buttercream. To make this, all you have to do is get some butter, whisk it until it's gone slightly pale, then add a load of icing sugar. If you find your butter icing looks a little bit dry, don't worry, get a little bit of vanilla extract, pour it in. And if it's still not quite the consistency you want, I recommend adding a little bit of milk. And whisk this until you're happy. Then get your chilled Niffler out of the fridge and coat him in your butter icing. And put him back in the fridge for literally 15 minutes. While everything is setting in the fridge, prep your surface ready to roll some icing onto it. I'm using my fondant board, but this isn't necessary, you just have to dust your surface with icing sugar to stop it sticking. Now take your black royal icing and roll it out till it's about the thickness of a pound coin. Now get Mr. Niffler out of the fridge and begin coating him in the black icing, making sure to not put any on his bill. For the Niffler's eyes, I already bought some ready-made ones. You can get them pretty much from any baking section in the supermarkets. To put them in position, use a chopstick or anything with a rounded end and push in 2 sockets and put the eyes in them. And once you're happy with how he looks, you can put him in the freezer to go nice and solid. To make the arms and hands of the Niffler, roll 2 pieces of icing sugar into isosceles triangles. At the widest part of the triangle, use a pair of scissors and snip out 3 claws. If you want your claws to look nice and rounded, I recommend using your finger as a guide. Now for some reason my camera stopped working at this point, but once you've done this, get a bit of melted white chocolate and dip the claws into the end. This will help give your Niffler some nice white nails. Excellent for burrowing in the ground for treasure. Once you're happy, put these in the fridge. Now to give your Niffler a really nice furry look, take a pair of scissors and begin to literally snip around his body. Once you've done this, return your Niffler to the freezer for about 15 minutes. You're literally nearly finished. Hooray! Remove the front of your Niffler nest from the fridge and slowly and carefully remove the tin foil from the center. If you compacted the tin foil too tight like me, don't worry, you can use a pair of scissors and snip it out. These Niffler nests are sturdy things. To add some decoration to the front of your Niffler nest, get some more melted white chocolate and using a pastry brush again, paint around the edge and then add more gems. And once again I got overly excited with the sprinkles. Now I'm so sorry people, but I actually forgot to press the record button for this next bit, but what you do is you take your Niffler claws out of the fridge and you press them into the inside of the nest so that the claws look like they're just resting on the inside. Once everything is set and in place, you can remove your Niffler from the freezer. Then very carefully press him into the inside of the egg. You don't want to press too tightly because you are at risk of smashing the egg, but these things are really strong, so just give him enough pressure in there so that he sits there on his own, and then return him to the fridge for about half an hour. Now for the final part of this tutorial, get the rest of your shredded shreddies, add some melted chocolate and 1 melted marshmallow. This is going to be your cement for gluing the two sides together. Then get the back half of your egg out of the fridge and very carefully put your chocolate marshmallowy cement around the edge. Then get the front of your Niffler nest and very carefully push this front onto the cement, making sure that there are no gaps between the egg parts. Put this guy in the fridge to set for about half an hour again, and once he's all set and ready, guess what? You're finished! Hooray! This egg weighs roughly 1.5 kilos. This makes a great gift for anybody that loves chocolate and Harry Potter. However, I will say make sure that you dust the egg in some icing sugar on the gems, as these will help keep them from going sticky. And then all that's left to do is admire it. I mean, eat it. Eat it. We're gonna eat it. And if you want to see more Harry Pottery things that I do, hit that subscribe. But for now, wonderful people, that is it for today. So see you next time. Bye! Bye-bye!